Hey y'all, it's Leah. This is my review for One Piece chapter 1017. Saying the 1000 numbers is always like a tongue twister for me. Last chapter, we check in on Wano. CP0 gives us a number update on the raid. The Nami and Usopp vs. Patron and Ulti fight concludes. Tama is about to give her announcement. And Yamato and Kaido begin to fight. Okay, now that we're past this break week, I'm really excited to get back into the Onigashima greatness. So let's not waste any more time and dive into this new One Piece chapter. So if you're interested in my review for this chapter, then sit back, relax, grab your snacks. Without further ado, let's get to it. So this chapter is called Orders, or The Order, which is titled after the order Tama gives to the gifters who ate her kibidango. Tama's announcement was pretty much what I expected her to say, so I'm proud that Tama was able to get her message across so that things can be in the Alliance's favor. Where Usopp, Nami, and Tama goes from here, we'll just have to wait and see, but I personally think their major role for the raid has been concluded, despite my mixed feelings about Oda's handling of Nami and Usopp's major involvement in the raid. We see that Luffy is getting water pumped out of him, so I don't know if the Heart Pirates are going to allow him to go back to the rooftop immediately after he becomes conscious, or are they going to try to heal his wounds quickly, then allow him to go back to the rooftop? And since Luffy is in a submarine, how will he get back on Onigashima and to the rooftop? Like, I know Oda is going to pull off this wacky way to get him back there, but I just want to know how exactly. And when Luffy gets back, will it just end up being Luffy versus Kaido? Or will it be Yamato and Luffy versus Kaido? Or maybe it can even be Yamato, Luffy, and Zoro versus Kaido, since it looks like Zoro is getting healed up quickly. So I don't know, out of all of these, I would like to see just Yamato and Luffy tag team Kaido and defeat him, so that Oda can build that bond before Yamato goes to sea with Luffy. But with unpredictable Oda, we'll just have to wait and see. We find out that the research team Queen was on with Judge was called MADS. Now, what MADS could mean, I have no idea, but I assume it probably had relations with SAD and the Smile Fruits. I really want to know more about this research team, so hopefully Oda can give us more exposition as to this research team that possibly could have had Dr. Vegapunk on it too. And I'm certain he will when Sanji's fight against Queen reaches climax. Now, Queen's hybrid form took some time for me to like. At first, I was like, but what really made this design do it for me was the robotic features. I really like how Queen's hybrid form has robotic elements to his left arm, the end of his hair, and his tail. I feel like that adds to the cyborg factor to Queen's character. So it grew on me the more I observed it, but I know there's a bunch of people that doesn't like it. But I personally think it fits Queen in my opinion, so it grew on me. I already know that this Chopper Baby Old Man form is just going to be another merch product that will continue to give Chopper the title of the King of One Piece merchandise. Like, Oda is not slick. He simply created this form so that the figure and plushie companies can make an even smaller and cuter Chopper with a cute old man dialect and get all of the Chopper stands money. Like, let's be real here. Well, Oda, you ain't tricking me this time with Chopper's cuteness. But yeah, Chopper's new form is painfully more adorable than his regular form. But the main takeaway from this section is that Zoro is going to receive medicine that will heal him and give his strength back. The only catch is that once the medicine wears off, he will endure twice as much pain as he's feeling right out at this moment. Now, I've seen mixed feelings on this from the community. Some claim it's an ass pull, while others defend it as an Oda style of gaining back strength for a short amount of time. Personally, I just think Oda will do whatever he can to show off Zoro's level of pain tolerance and endurance. This reminds me of Thriller Bark when Zoro took Luffy's pain. I feel like this is going to be a callback to that legendary moment from Zoro. So this special make medicine stunt doesn't bother me too much since Oda literally made Luffy and Brook grow their teeth and bones back by one drink of milk. So I'm not too surprised Oda did something like this for Zoro. Now where Zoro goes from here is the true mystery. Will he go fight King? Will he go back to on the rooftop and help Yamato stall out Kaido? Or will he fight someone completely different? You never know with Oda for this arc. But nevertheless, I'm excited to see where Zoro goes from here. I'm so glad that we're finally focusing on the Jinbei versus Who's Who fight. Since we're done with the weak trio fights, I feel like the rest of the Straw Hats fights will be much more better in terms of enjoyment. I just hope they don't end up being choppy, dragged out, and poorly executed like Nami and Usopp's fight. But anyway, we check up on Jinbei's fight, and I must say, Jinbei was really impressive this chapter. I mean, it's expected since he's a former warlord, but it's nice seeing his first 1v1 fight as a Straw Hat. I like how Oda choreographed this fight and actually spent most of the chapter focusing on it. I want to suspect that he'll continue it next chapter, but I expected Yamato and Kaido to be focused on this chapter, and here we are, so Oda most likely will move away from it for now. And I love how Jinbei proudly declares himself as a Straw Hat pirate. I know some say Jinbei feels out of place from the crew, but honestly, with this fight, I feel like he's part of the. I really feel like he's part of the family now. I really can't wait to see him for the rest of the series and what he contributes to the crew power-wise and character-wise. We find out that Who's Who is a former CP9 agent who was so good he was on par with the Rob Lucci, which, wow, when I first read that, I had to read that multiple times because although there were some that speculated that Who's Who used to be a part of the world government, but the fact that this man used to rival Rob Lucci, bruh. This just makes me think, how would the Enies Lobby arc would have gone if Who's Who was still a part of CP9? Like, would the Straw Hats still would have gotten away? Or would Who's Who really would have been that factor to make them fail in getting back Robin and escaping Enies Lobby? Who's Who hybrid form looks really good to me. I can't wait to see the other hybrid forms like Kang's, Black Maria's, Sasuke, and possibly even Yamato's. So it was nice that we got 2 hybrid form reveals this chapter. Now for the ball drop. We find out that Luffy's Gum Gum fruit is the fruit that Who's Who failed to protect since it was robbed during transport. So this not only brings up so many questions, but also potential fears and even some criticisms. But before I get into that, I speculate that Shanks stole that fruit because it probably was rumored to have special and powerful capabilities. And since the world government was trying to protect it, it seems like the rumors are true. And side note, but I feel like Shanks going to the government to talk about a certain pirate could be tied to this as well. And the theories that Shanks is secretly working for the government is looking pretty nice right now, I'm not gonna lie. So of course when Shanks and his crew hung out with Luffy ends up eating it and the rest is history. But many people have fear that Oda will go the Luffy is a prophecy child or holy child route. Now, we know Kishimoto did this with Naruto with his Child of Prophecy plotline by basically making Naruto the chosen one and being the only one who can fulfill this oh-so-great prophecy. Now, I'm not going to jump to conclusions, but I have to admit, I wouldn't like that either since I like the idea of Luffy fighting past the seemingly unstoppable odds with struggle and determination with an average-looking fruit. Him being some prophecy child will kind of water down his character to me, since I like that Luffy takes matters in his own hands and creates greatness for himself. Him being some special chosen holy child that destiny is always in favor of will make him lose that unique factor that makes him stand apart from other shonen protagonists. Now, it's typical for shonen to go that the protagonist is a special type of route, and we know that Luffy is the protagonist of One Piece, so of course he has to have factors that makes him stand out as a protagonist. But I trust that Oda will make it where the fruit itself is special and not write in Luffy is secretly a god that was reincarnated into a 19-year-old child kid plotline. I feel like this Luffy's Devil Fruit info drop will come back into play at the end of the arc, since it will probably take an Oda dump type of chapter to explain what's the deal with Luffy's Gum Gum Fruit and why the government was trying to protect it. This could also have ties with the giant straw hat that we see in chapter 906, since that's another mystery that's probably deeply connected to Luffy. People are also bringing up the fact that the world government never talked about Luffy's fruit, even after seeing that he has this fruit. But it could be that only people like the 5 elders and the CP0 only knows about his true potential. So maybe only the top authority of the world government knows about the importance of the Gum Gum fruit, and it doesn't leak to people like the Marines and everyone under the world government. So although I understand the fears of where Oda can go with this, let's not frog leap to conclusions until we see how Oda executes this plotline. So my advice is let's have faith in Oda, but still have our critical eye in case Oda does pull some monkey D Jesus plotline. So yeah, this was the most interesting reveal in the chapter. I'm curious to see where Oda goes with this, but for now, very interesting. Overall, I thought this was a good chapter, a handful of Oda dumps, which is something I always love reading, and I'm just really happy we finally see a good bit of Jinbei's fight because he deserves some shine, especially being the new Straw Hat. Also, it seems like things are beginning to progress more and more for the raid, so I'm really interested to see what wacky direction Oda goes from here. But anyway, let me know how you felt about this chapter. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Or do you have mixed feelings about it? Also, let me know your favorite moment from this chapter and your predictions for the next chapter. If you enjoyed this video, then it'd be really cool if you no like that like button, because you really help your girl out. Please subscribe for more One Piece related videos in the future. Hit that bell notification so you can always be notified whenever I post. Links to my socials and Discord are in the description box below. Please stay safe out there, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye!